asked a bunch of girls, when was the last time a man approached you at a bar and started talking to you? They were all like, no, it hasn't happened in, I can't even tell you how long.
I've been hearing a lot of ladies say that men don't even approach them anymore.
Some men genuinely will not approach you if they know they can't afford you.
Men are not approaching me. Am I ugly? Am I doing something?
It's really hard for them to grasp that men have just decided to look the other way instead.
So am I the only one who absolutely hates being single?
How would you want a man to approach you in public if you're single? I know a lot of women do want this.
I'm seeing men tell men everywhere, just focus on you and women will come to you.
For the women not being approached by men is...
Many women have come to regret pushing men away. They're missing that old validation. Kindly subscribe to the channel and Happy New Year's, everyone.
I've been hearing a lot of ladies say that men don't even approach them anymore, and they're starting to think that something's wrong with them. A lot of the reasons why a lot of men or women are starting to not get approached is because we're starting to exude a type of level of energy that means that we don't have the time for any BS.
I feel like things are just backwards over here in Australia, you guys. So when I first moved here, not a single guy came up to me at the clubs and hit on me. And I found it a bit weird. I was like, kind of offended, not gonna lie. Coming from North America, I don't know, I was kind of offended. In North America, it's like the guys come up to the girls, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know any girls that would go up to a guy, so it just seems a bit backwards. Like, can someone please explain this to me? Also, why is every single guy short? Like, I'm a pretty short girl, and I tower over all these men at the club.
Guys not making a move anymore is so frustrating. Because the amount of times that I've heard so-and-so has liked you before, like at this time. I didn't know if you felt the same way, so he never said anything to you. I've been getting that a lot recently, and I can't stop thinking, what if, bro? So guys, can you make a move again? Can we stop being afraid and just make a gesture? I'm never gonna make a move.
No! Because we run the risk of making the woman uncomfortable. And that's something we don't want to do. I'd rather be alone than called a creep for even trying. Too many videos on the internet talking about girls getting annoyed when guys ask them out. Too many risks with even approaching a woman nowadays. So we just stayed to ourselves. I find it to be more peaceful that way. I've seen videos on TikTok of women bashing the men who approached them, and the reasons were often because those men weren't considered attractive enough. Of course, when men see videos like this, they're going to be reluctant to make a move and approach women, because they'll just end up being mocked or bashed for it. This behavior also highlights a double standard. While women often express frustration about men not approaching them anymore, videos like these contribute to why men are stepping back. If men are ridiculed for simply trying to make a connection, it's no wonder they're more cautious or even choosing not to engage at all. And if women want that male attention so badly now, they're going to have to start approaching.
I'm shook. If it is true, there's no hope for me really, because I only ever go to the gym. So somebody told me, actually a few people have told me, that 90% of men who go to the gym would never approach a woman at the gym because they think it's creepy. Why? When did this happen? I guess it depends how you approach them.
Y'all want to know why a lot of women nowadays are not afraid to be single? After we've evolved over time, a lot of women are now business owners, hard workers, super independent, mothers. Women aren't as afraid of being alone and having to rely on a man to provide for her. Well, what do you have to provide for me? If I can do everything for myself, what do I really need you for? So now women are making these men really show and prove themselves first before they just get that ring on the finger.
I bet she felt so empowered saying all that, and yet nobody is jumping to marry her. A lot of these so-called boss babes will continue to be single because their attitudes are simply a turn-off. And women are still relying on men to provide for them. One thing for sure is women do not like spending their own money. They like to leech off the guy instead. And if women weren't afraid to be single, they wouldn't be out here asking for men.
Okay,
I don't know what's going on, and somebody please tell me if you know, but like men no longer approach women, right? Like you'll be somewhere and you'll catch a homie like staring at you, right? From across the room. Leave that vicinity and never say anything to you. And then somehow, some way, find a way to pop up on you, whether he knows you or not, and hint at maybe having some kind of interest in you. And then it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, what is this?
How would you want a man to approach you in public if you're single? I know a lot of women do want this. Like, a lot of women want an IRL connection or like a meet cute that's not on a dating app. I also understand it can feel very confronting and scary and sometimes disrespectful when a man comes up to you in public. So for the women who do want that, who want to get off of the app, who do want men to approach them, a lot of men are obviously scared about like crossing boundaries and being creepy. So I'm just curious if anyone has any suggestions.
It does not work nowadays. A woman needs to show interest first by giving a clear sign before I waste my time. Unless you're tall and attractive, approaching almost never works. All the men can admit and acknowledge that this only works if you are attractive. If not, you will be seen as a creep. Nope, women ruined it for the actual good guys, so have fun with your weirdo men.
Some men genuinely will not approach you if they know they can't afford you.
How much?
Facts. And that kind of makes me feel better. I'm like, all right, well, it's not me. It's you. It is you.
Literally.
You need help.
It has come to my attention that men do not want to approach women anymore. I don't know when this happened, but this is the reality of the situation. And I also realized that nobody wants to be on dating apps anymore. We are finally going to get off the apps and we are finally going to flirt with one another. However, we have an issue at hand. Men don't want to approach women at bars. So it's like, how do we start conversation? I started taking myself out to bars. I'm going out with girlfriends and I'm trying to make conversation with guys at bars. And I have one question that I have been asking that is working.
I asked a bunch of girls, when was the last time a man approached you at a bar and started talking to you?
Is that still the main reason to go to a bar, is it? I really hope that that's not where a lot of individuals are trying to find someone to be in a relationship with.
And I thought this was just me thing, but they were all like, no, it hasn't happened in, I can't even tell you how long, like before COVID.
I honestly don't even understand how it comes as a surprise that a lot of men aren't even bothering to approach women anymore.
And I thought that was a me experience. I was like, okay, maybe I give off like a standoffish vibe. I don't know. I don't think so. But no, they all agreed. They're like, I can't tell you the last time a man tried to talk to me at a bar. A man tried to offer to buy me a drink.
And why would they? And why should they? Honestly, a lot of men are finding it a lot more peaceful just to remain single.
Men still do that. Men, can you weigh in? I don't even need the drink, but like the last time, and I'll go up and talk to guys, but like, can someone explain?
Oh, I would be more than pleased to explain. Just take a look at what is being put out on social media by a large amount of women, especially in regards to how they feel about men in general, what is expected of a man in a relationship, what is considered to be the bare minimum, of which no woman seems to be able to agree with another on what that is. So in fact, a lot of men are just bowing out, not even getting involved anymore, because it's a lot simpler for them just to be single and happy.
What this woman and many other women are experiencing is the lack of male attention because most men have prioritized peace over the stress of trying to approach a woman who may mock or reject them harshly. Men are choosing to value their mental and emotional well-being, steering clear of situations where they're likely to be ridiculed or met with hostility. Nowadays, a man don't know whether it's safe or not to approach a woman, especially after many women have told men to stop. The irony is, while some women claim they don't need men or attention, their actions tell a different story. Many of them are now vocal about their dissatisfaction with the lack of male interest, yet they fail to see how their attitudes and behaviors contribute to the problem. The modern dating scene has shifted dramatically, with many men opting out of the pursuit altogether. Why? Because the risks now outweigh the rewards. Being ignored is one thing, but being publicly humiliated or shamed is another.
So am I the only one who absolutely hates being single? Because I've been single for a year now, and it sucks. Just kind of enjoy your time. Go out, have fun, enjoy your alone time, blah, blah, blah. There were people who were meant to be alone, and there were people who weren't meant to be alone. I am the second type. This shit sucks. I just want to have someone to come home to hang out with, to talk to watch movies with. Like, I have my kids and they're amazing, but I want, like, another adult to talk to. And, like, obviously I'm not going to settle for just anybody. Like, I am very picky because I have kids. I'm not for the streets. I'm wife material. I'm not. This isn't fun. I don't like it. I mean, maybe it's my age. I am 28, so maybe that's why I'm so, like... And since I was married for 10 years, like, I was already in that mindset of just being settled down and just being a wife. Like, I'm not a girlfriend. What the heck? I don't want to be a girlfriend. But listen to your parents. Don't get married young.
Dating and is so fucked up in this generation right now that we literally get excited over the bare fucking minimum. Oh, he texts me back fast. Okay. Oh, he took me on a date and he paid for it. Okay. He didn't try to sleep with me the first night. Okay. This is bare fucking minimum. Like, bare minimum. It's sad because we're used to such shitty treatment and such, like, low quality shitty men that when a man acts correctly, we're like, oh my god, holy shit, like, he's amazing. No, this is what they should be doing. When a man actually likes you and wants to be with you, like, he does this shit anyways. Stop settling. Don't be stupid.
It's these types of women that push men away by failing to appreciate the effort, no matter how small or significant, that men put into relationships or interactions. At this point, I'm convinced they don't even know what the bare minimum is, because they dismiss nearly everything a man does as just that, bare minimum. Whether it's paying for dinner, holding the door open, or simply showing genuine interest, these gestures are often met with entitlement or indifference rather than gratitude. Men are expected to go above and beyond constantly, yet their efforts are either undervalued or taken for granted. The irony is that these same women often do the bare minimum themselves, expecting praise simply for showing up or looking good. If women can't acknowledge and value even the small things a man does, how can they expect men to keep giving?
Yo, I don't see the point of approaching women or bagging women. There's no point unless you know. The only way you get her is if you already know she's into you.
So what if you're out somewhere and you find an attractive woman? You're not going to go up to her?
There's no point.
Why?
Because they choose. There's absolutely no point of... What do you mean how?
But how do you know you're not chosen if you don't go up to her?
You don't have to go up to her. Yo, when a woman wants what she wants, she shows you that she wants it.
Not all women do that.
All y'all looking at the camera, lie and say y'all don't. These women listen, there's dudes that don't got to do nothing but breathe. Hey, I think you're so handsome. I think you're this. Women will come up to them. I used to be one of those guys. And then
Which one? Which one were you? Come on now, which one were you? The one that women used to come up to you?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yo,
Okay, so me and my friend, a platonic homeboy, we went somewhere last night and we had to get out the car like 3 times. Okay. And he didn't open my door not a single time. So I let it go by a couple times and then I said, now that's your 3rd time not opening my door. And he was like, well, I feel like that's romantic. And I said, wait, this is a common courtesy. Okay? I know we just boys, okay? I know we just boys, but I am still, okay? Treat me like a lady. Disregard the mustache and the whiskers down here, okay? I am very much still a feminine woman. Open my door. Open my door. Am I tripping? Bro, open my door, bro. What y'all think?
You need help. Not really sure what would possess this woman to think that her male friend owes her any chivalrous act, especially when they're not dating and referring to each other as bro. Friendship isn't a license to demand special treatment or to expect someone to go out of their way for you just because they're a man. But this is how it starts. Small expectations here and there that gradually grow into full-blown entitlement. Many women do this, subtly pushing the boundaries until they're outright taking advantage of the guy. It often begins with seemingly innocent requests, asking for a favor, expecting him to always pay for outings, or relying on him to handle inconveniences. Over time, these favors start feeling more like obligations, and the man finds himself in a one-sided dynamic where he's constantly giving and receiving little to nothing in return. Worse yet, his kindness is rarely appreciated. It's taken for granted, as if it's simply his duty to serve her needs.
Is anybody else feeling so frustrated with the fact that they're single? Like, I understand that it's God's timing, and when I tell you I trust in that man with my whole life, I mean it. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm still frustrated about it. And that's okay, because I'm being raw with my feeling. God wants us to bring our feelings to him and be vulnerable with them. And if I'm being vulnerable, I'm so frustrated. And I know I can't be the only one. So if you're feeling the same way, let's talk about it. What are you struggling with? Because I know I can't be the only one that's feeling this way. And it's so frustrating when people tell you it'll happen when you least expect it, or are your standards too high, or like all the other things that people tell you. Because I have faith in people. I know that there's wonderful people out there. I'm not saying that the dating scene is trash or anything, because I know that there's wonderful people. I think social media has clouded a lot of things and made it more difficult for people to find authentic relationships. But I think that there's wonderful, wonderful people out there. I'm just saying that I know I can't be the only one that's feeling so frustrated in this season of my life. And I know that God will provide, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm so frustrated. So if you're feeling this, or if you resonate with this, let's all talk about it, because I don't think it's talked about enough.
I've been single for years now. The loneliness during the holidays is hard this year. I'm truly at the point where I think meeting someone just isn't in the cards for me. I'm so frustrated because it makes me feel like, why am I not worthy of the happiness everyone I know has with their partner? I've never been in a relationship. I'm so tired of being single. I just want someone to love me.
Why does no one want to talk about the fact that women bait and lure men in by sex in the beginning of the relationship, only to then turn around and blame him later on for the lack of emotional security, which is why she can't have sex with him anymore, and that's the reason for the lack of intimacy in the relationship? Excuse me, but when you met him in the beginning of a relationship and you only knew him for a month, maybe 3 months, he wasn't emotionally safe, but you gave it up to him then. But not only that, is you literally were giving it up to him to impress him, to lure him in, and you weren't rejecting him. So now that he feels rejected later on in the relationship, you want to make him feel bad for it. Make that make sense. And y'all don't think that this is manipulative or deceiving or hurtful or is going to lead to any psychological problems within the men that you're dating. Make it make sense. But then y'all don't just turn these men down gracefully. You want to make them feel like shit. You want to belittle them. You want to make them feel less than. And you actually make them feel so less desirable, not because of sex, but even your body language, the passive aggressive tones, and the way that you go about turning him down. What's crazy is y'all set the standard for how you want the intimacy to go in a relationship, but then when he wants that to be the expectation, now you're mad. Let's not forget that if this man decides that he doesn't want intimacy on the one day that you decide to initiate, because maybe he's overworked, he's also burnt out, maybe he's also depressed or has anxiety, you're going to accuse him of cheating. Oh, and get this, when you finally decide to break it off with him because y'all are having conflict about intimacy, y'all will go and fuck the next dude within 2 weeks, and y'all don't think that that has anything to do with emotional security. So you just over a good man for some Joe Schmo on the side. Okay, bye.
Just to be clear, this is what's called a bait and switch, a tactic where a woman uses intimacy to draw a man in during the early stages of a relationship, only to switch up once the commitment is made. In the beginning, the connection feels genuine and passionate, but once the man is emotionally invested or the couple is married, the woman may start to withhold that same intimacy or become emotionally distant. In marriages, men experience this all the time. They enter the relationship with the expectation that the intimacy they shared at the start will remain consistent or deepen over time. But once the commitment is solidified, whether through marriage, moving in together, or having children, the dynamics often change. The woman may stop prioritizing physical affection. become less emotionally available, or start focusing more on her own needs and desires, leaving the man feeling neglected and disconnected.